how you can make money in Dubai in 2026. In the last 6 weeks, I have watched property prices in some of Dubai's best neighborhoods drop in a way I have not seen since the spring of 2020. If you have ever wondered how ordinary people end up making generational money in the city, what I am about to tell you is the closest thing to a time machine you will get this year. My name is Anna. I have lived in Dubai for over 20 years. I built my real estate business here from a single deal, a small apartment in a building most of my friends have never ever heard of. And today my team and I work with investors from more than 30 countries. I am not a YouTuber and I am not trying to be a guru. I am the woman who picks up the phone when one of her clients lands in Dubai at 2 in the morning and needs the keys to a villa by breakfast. I am telling you this because I want you to hear me the way you would hear a friend who happens to know this city better than almost anyone else. And that friend has something she needs to say to you this week. You have seen the headlines from the last few weeks. The region was noisy. There was talk of tensions, talk of drones, talk of risk. The average viewer watching the news in London or New York or Sydney saw those headlines and quietly decided that this is not the year to invest in the Middle East. And this is exactly where the story those viewers were sold and the story I am living every day completely separate. The ceasefire came into effect on the 3rd of April. It has been holding for over a month. The intensity that international viewers saw on television in the second half of March is not what life looks like in Dubai today, and has not been what the life looks like here since the first week of this month. The international schools across Dubai resumed full operations in the middle of April, only few weeks after the ceasefire. All malls were opened during the entire time, and they were full even in the middle of conflict. Yes, the most famous is Dubai Mall and Mall of Emirates. They never closed down. Emirates Airlines has rebuilt its international flight schedule to roughly 80% of pretension capacity, with full restoration publicly committed to before the end of June. Dubai International Airport handled close to 7 million passengers in April. That is around 12% below April of last year. A real drop, but a fraction of what people watching from far away assume happened here. And while all of that was happening, the property market kept transaction. Total transactions for the first quarter came in at just over 52,000, with a combined value of around 142 billion dirhams. That is roughly 4% up on quarter first of last year by transaction count, and 3% up by value. The secondary market, where most international investors actually play, was up 23% year over year by volume. This was not a market in retreat. This was a market that absorbed a shock, kept moving, and it's now sitting on the cleanest pricing entry point we have seen since COVID. I have lived through this exact pattern in Dubai 3 times now. After the 2008 global financial crisis, Dubai property dropped roughly 50% from peak to through over about 18 months. The people who bought in 2009 and 2010 saw their property values double, in some segments triple. After the 2014 oil price crash, prices softened by around 25% over 2 years. The buyers who moved during that dip captured the spread when prices recovered between 2017 and 2019. And after COVID in 2020, you do not need me to tell you what happened. Prime Dubai property is up over 100% since the second half of 2020. Specific buildings on the Palm and in downtown have done 2.5 times in 5 years. Every single time, the people who made real money in this city were not the ones who waited for the news to feel safe. They were the ones who understood that the gap between how the city actually functions and how the world perceives the city in where the best deals live. That gap has opened again. It opened in March, and from where I sit, looking at the deals crossing my desk this month, it is the widest it has been since 2020. Let me tell you what I mean by that, because I do not want this to stay theoretical. I am not going to throw a chart at you. I am going to tell you what I am seeing on the ground in my own business this quarter. Sellers who 6 months ago would not have answered a discounted offer are now picking up the phone before the emails is even finished sending. Listings that were moving in 3 days at the start of the year are now sitting for the 15 to 20 days. Owners who bought off plan and were planning to flip at peak are quietly accepting offers 10, 12, sometimes 15% below asking price just to close before summer. These are not distressed properties in bad neighborhoods. I'm talking about apartments in downtown, villas on the Palm, brand new condos in Dubai Hills. The kind of inventory that 90 days ago you had to fight 3 other buyers just to get a viewing on. I want to give you 2 examples so this stops being abstract. 2 weeks ago, we closed the 4-bedroom villa on the Palm. The owner had bought it back in 2022 for around 18 million dirham. For most of last year, he had been holding out for 30 million and turning everything else down. We brought him a serious buyer at 26.5 million, all cash. He did not even count it. He took it. The whole deal closed inside 72 hours. The other one was a brand new 2-bedroom apartment in Dubai Hills, off-plan unit. The buyer had committed its 1800 dirhams per square foot, and then a deal of his another country stalled and he needed to exit fast. We placed it with one of our long-term investor clients at 1580 per square foot, a 12% discount in under a week. The same building has new units listed today at over 2,000 a square feet. That spread is the entire conversation. That gap is your opportunity. If those 2 stories made you sit up a little, the way my team and I share the specific live deals in our WhatsApp, and I will tell you exactly how to start that conversation at the end of this video. For now, stay with me, because the reason these deals exist matters more than the deals themselves. The fundamentals of Dubai have not just held, they have actually improved in the last few weeks. The population of the Emirate has grown by more than 100,000 people in each of the last 3 years. The visa structure is still in place. The tax structure is unchanged at 0% personal income tax. The infrastructure is still being built faster than almost any other city in the world. And on top of all that, since the tensions began, the UAE government has moved decisively in favor of buyers. On the 29th of April, the federal authorities removed the minimum property investment threshold for the long-term investor visa. That floor used to sit at 2 million dirham. As of today, it is gone. Any qualifying property purchase at any price point can now get 2 and 10-year resident visa for you and your family. Around the same time, Emirates and SNBD, the country's largest bank by assets, opened direct mortgage agreements with the major government-linked developers. MR, Nakheel, the names you already know. We're seeing rates on those programs starting in the high 3% range, with loan-to-value for up to 75% for no-residence buyers on completed property. For an international buyers, especially someone going off-plan, that combination, a direct developer relationship, a competitive rate, and 75% leverage removes one of the largest single pieces of friction in the entire purchase process. These are not small announcements. In any other major real estate market, changes of this size would be front-page news for weeks. Here, they happened in 3 weeks, while the world was looking somewhere else. That asymmetry is the whole reason this window exists. Now I know what you might be thinking, because my team and I get the same questions every single day from people who have not bought yet. The first one is it really not dangerous to be there right now? I will give you the most honest answer I can give you as someone who walks her daughter to school here every morning. The ceasefire has been holding for over a month. Schools has been open since middle of April. Malls have been open all this time. Emirates is back to 80% of its international schedule. The restaurants are full. The construction sites are everywhere you look, and the people who actually live in the city are not panicking. The people watching from far away are. And that distance between perception and reality is the entire reason your advantage exists right now. The second question is, can I even buy if I do not live in the UAE? Yes, you can buy fully remotely. My team has closed deals for clients who had never set floor in Dubai before they signed. The freehold property structure here is one of the most foreigner-friendly in the world, and with the new mortgage agreement I just told you about, buying off-plan became easier than ever. The third question is, am I already too late? I want to be careful with this one, because I cannot tell you the exact week the window closes. What I can tell you is that quarter first transaction volume came in around 52,000 units, 4% up year over year. The secondary market was up 23%. And historically, every single time Dubai has absorbed a shock like this, prices have snapped back inside 1 quarter once the headlines turned positive. Not gradually, in one move. Whoever moved before that snap captured the entire spread. The fourth question, why Dubai? Why not Miami or Lisbon or Bali? I love those cities, but none of them are giving you zero personal income tax. The top rate of income tax in UK is 45%. In Australia, 45%. Canada, over 50%. In the United States, 37%. At the federal level alone, before state and city stack on top. None of those cities are giving you a 10-year residence visa attached to your investment. None of them just removed the minimum investment amount to attract more buyers. None of them are sitting on the kind of short-term pricing dislocation that Dubai is sitting on right now. I'm not telling you Dubai is the right answer forever. I'm telling you what the math looks like in the spring of 2026. And the fifth question, which I have been getting more and more this month, what if global sentiment never turns? I want to give you the structural answer here, because this is the part most people miss. Last year, more than 6,700 millionaires relocated to the UAE, the highest net inflow of high net worth individuals of any country country in the world. The projection for this year was already above 9,000 before any of the recent tensions. What I'm seeing in our own inquiry numbers tells me that projection is going to be revised up, not down. Look at where those buyers actually come from. Tax rates in Europe are not falling, they are rising. Personal safety is not improving. Legal immigration gets harder, slower, and more expensive every single year. Visa interview wait times now run into multiple years for some categories. The legal path has become so broken that illegal crossing are at record highs, because families gave up waiting on a system that does not work for them anymore. Those families and those entrepreneurs are not sitting still. They are looking for a place that has a clear structure, one set of rules, one tax framework, a resident visa attached to a property purchase, a path to setting up a business inside 72 hours. That place is Dubai. It has been Dubai for years, and the number of high net worth families relocating to this city goes up every single year, regardless of what the global news cycle is doing. 2008, Dubai is finished. 2015, Dubai has no oil. 2020, COVID and tourism. And guess what? Dubai recovered every time. In 2027, perhaps it's too late for discounts, because once the market recovers, the buyers will not be motivated to sell it at discounts. And now, if you want to see what is the best strategy for you, where to find the hottest deal, and how not to make a mistake by just buying a cheapest option and actually have a capital appreciation later on, the next step is simple. Below this video, it's my WhatsApp number. No emails, no lead forms. Me and my managers will talk to you one-on-one directly. And yes, our consultation is free. We want to prove that our advice is the best. And if after talking to us, you will decide to move forward, we will be happy to help. And even if not, I'm still happy that I managed to share with you all this value. So click on a link and let's get in touch. Let's take advantage while we can.